Welcome back to Bespoke Addict. I'm actually selling on eBay UK at no reserve. These absolutely superb. They're beautiful. They're John Lobb. They're actually not made by John Lobb. They're made by Edward Green for John Lobb. 100% Edward Green. They've got the traditional evergreen stamp, this little semicircle they do, and the three little bunches of nails. They always do their nails on the heels in bunches of three. So these are 100% definitely evergreen. It doesn't say evergreen anywhere on them, but everything about them screams evergreen. Now, these date back to the late 80s or even the early 90s, and they're sort of they're marked inside JL and Co. So that is John Lobb and Company, and the company in this instance is Evergreen. The Loke trees are purely, they didn't come with any trees, and these are the trees I've got that fit them the best. But I'm afraid the trees are not being sold with the shoes. So how did this come about? It was up until this point in the late 80s, John Lobb were always strictly bespoke. And they realised that in order to survive long term, they needed to do what every other maker was doing and get involved, reluctantly, I think, from Lobb's point of view, in ready to wear. But they wanted to produce something of this kind of quality ready to wear. So instead of spending millions on a factory to test the market, they approached Edward Green. And Edward Green, of course, agreed to produce the product to Lobb's sort of specifications and design. And this went on for a couple of years in the late 80s and the early 90s. And once Lobb had tested the market and realised it was going to work, they then spent a phenomenal sum of money committing in their own factory to produce in-house. So their production now is not made by Edward Green. But as you can see, these have had very, very little wear. They've been worn. There's a little bit nipped out of the edge of the toe there, but we are nitpicking. There's not much to show really wear-wise. On the edges around here, there's very small, really small, little tiny cracks. I'm being fussy because I don't want anybody to. It's difficult to identify it in video or in photograph, but if somebody had a really sharp eye, they would probably notice these afterwards. Maybe not, but I'd rather be honest up front and say, look, there is minor cracking, which has been very discreetly staged. Now, as there's so little wear to these shoes. But they are over 30 years old. It's certainly not wear and tear that's caused this cracking. I think they've been used a little bit when they were brand new, then left. And I bought them without trees and they'd curled up slightly. And I think this skin had just got a bit dry and cracked that way. But, I've nourished them and really sort of nourished them and polished them. And they're beautiful, beautiful things. They're actually marked as a UK 8D, but I would say they're quite a generous 8. I would suggest nearer to 8.5 if I'm honest with you. I'm a 9.5, and with a shoehorn I can sort of get my feet in these, and I can walk about. I've walked on carpet in them, but they're too snug to wear as a regular shoe. I couldn't do it, so that's why I'm deciding to sell them. I think they're beautiful, but I do have an awful lot of shoes, and I'm looking for excuses to sell pairs that I really, really like, and I really like these, but they're just that little bit too snug on me. And they're not bespoke. And much though I love them, even if they did fit me, because I've got so many pairs now, I'm actually deliberately selling the pairs that are not bespoke. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I just need to sort of get the numbers down. And, that's it's a good way to get the numbers down, is to sort of sell the ready to wear. And the pairs that don't fit terribly well, either a little bit big or a bit small. And these are a bit small. If somebody were, I don't know, a size 8 wearing thick socks would be okay, an 8.5 would probably be fine, or even a 9 at a squeeze. I'm a 9.5 and it's too much of a squeeze. But what beautiful things they are. And I've had them a long time, about 12 or 13 years, and I've never ever worn them. They're just too tight. But I have nourished them, treated them, and sort of nourished them and treated them. And, they've never got worn with my ownership, but they have got nourished and treated. So they're on eBay UK at no reserve, and they'll make a beautiful pair for somebody. Either somebody that likes John Lobb or somebody that likes Edward Green, or just English classics, actually. Nice kilts. Single monk strap, beautiful things. But and I will put the eBay listing number with this post so they'll be easy enough to find.